Bitcoin with a big squeeze to the upside, giving us yet another clue as to what it wants to do. Good morning, guys. My name is Sean Dex and I welcome you back to the Mango Grove for your daily Bitcoin analysis video. Bitcoin with a big move to the upside, a good, $600 move. Some are calling it a pump, some are calling it a squeeze. Does it really matter what it is? Bitcoin made the move, and if, hey, you weren't careful, you were liquidated, and that's all that matters. What matters to us, however, over here at the Mango Grove is the insights that we can derive from this move. And let me tell you, insights there are. We will talk about those in a bit, but before I talk about those, I want to ask all of you, hey, what's up with the panic? What is up with the panic? If you've been doing it the Mango way, if you've been doing it the stress-free way, one, you are not over leveraged. Two, you got a position somewhere around the 6,600, 6,550 region anyways, right? So yes, Bitcoin had a $600 move to the upside, but before that, it had a $600 move to the downside from our entry position, right? So the only reason you guys will be panicking right now, well, there's two reasons. One of two things has happened. One, you chased the price and you shorted somewhere near support, somewhere at the bottom and not where we were looking at our value areas to be shorting. Or two, you are panicking because this move ate into your profits. So first, let me address the first situation where you chased the price and shorted somewhere near support. Don't do that. Okay, we talked about that in yesterday's video. We talked about that in day before's video. I even pointed out the mistake where I did exactly that in these areas, right? Oh my God, guys, this is ridiculous. Like, how many times have we bounced off the 6,000 region now? Let's go on over to the 4 hour first. Okay, we bounced off right over here at around 5,900ish. Before that, we bounced at 5,800. This was the mistake I made, right? I tried to get greedy. I played for the break, and what happened? Well, I got punished and I ate a little bit into my profits, but I got out. So first we bounced at 5,800ish, then we bounced at 5,950, and now we're bouncing at 6,100ish, right? Are you guys all that surprised? No, right? You shouldn't be. But what's happening over here, and this tends to happen psychologically, the charts do this to us. We see the green candles, and we get very bullish. That's what green is designed to do. Green means good. Let's long with it, right? That's completely fine as long as you're playing with the trend. But we are going into major resistance. Longing over here is what got people wrecked. What happens? We dump, right? And then right over here, we start seeing red. What do? We short against major support. I used to do that too. I did it over here too, right? But over here was a little bit different. I'm trying to defend myself a little bit. I got greedy over here. I got greedy trying to add to my position because I was playing for a break. I knew what I was doing. Okay, I knew what I was doing, but I did it anyway, which makes it worse, actually. Makes it worse. So I shouldn't defend myself. It makes it worse. I knew what I was doing and I made the mistake. But what was important? Recognize that, hey, same psychological mistake was about to happen. Don't do it. And I'm telling you guys about my mistakes, right, guys? That's what these videos are for. When I make the mistakes, I will make sure to tell you so you guys don't make my mistakes. That's what this channel was made for. Now, this one was a little bit more insidious because you see red after red after red after red. This is going to 0. This is going to 4K. This is going to 5K, right? But just before I went to bed last night, I said, hey, guys, let me show you guys the bull case of what's going on over here. And I do believe the 1 hour shows it the best. We had a falling channel. Okay, we had a falling channel. Now, unfortunately, this broke out while I was asleep, and I wouldn't have acted on it anyways because I'm pretty comfortable with my plan. On that note, let's go ahead and talk about the second situation why people may be getting a little panicky over here. The first situation is that, hey, they shorted into major support, chasing the price all the way down. They got a really bad entry. The second reason is they got a good entry, but this move is eating into their profits. And I've discussed this before, and I talked about this with one of the Mango Seed guys yesterday too. I believe it was Wouter. Yes, it was Wouter I was talking to. And guys, when you're putting on a trend trade and you're looking for a big move, okay, towards the downside. So we are looking for a big move to around 4,000, 5,000, whatever, right? Essentially, we are looking for a break of the 5,800 region. When you're looking for a trend trade, You have to be okay with price moving against you and eating into your profits. We've talked about this several times throughout the course of this channel's history, where as a trend trader, you need to be okay with price eating into your profits, but you shouldn't be okay with going into too deep of losses, right? Okay, big difference there. Eating into profits versus going into losses. So you need to tell yourself that, hey, if I'm putting on a trend trade, price is likely going to bounce on me while the trend is developing, and hey, this trend may not actually see continuation. You need to be mentally strong and prepared for that. Trend trading is more of a mental game than anything else. And if that does not fit your play style, that's completely fine. Every trader has a different trading style, and you need to then have predetermined spots as to where you take your profits. Or do you tell yourself, I'm playing this as a range, I'm getting out over here, take my profits and I'm out? One of the two needs to happen. That being said, let's go ahead and actually talk about some technical analysis over here. So yeah, last night before I went to bed, I posted this basically falling wedge, whatever the hell you want to call it, falling channel on the Mango Grove, that hey, we are likely going to see this break to the upside at any time, okay? And it could have gone all the way down to 6,000, 6,100-ish before it actually broke to the upside. But where it broke and how the daily candle closed is very, very important. And we get some insight from this. If you guys think back to the last video, what were we focused on, okay? Last video and day before's video, we're looking at the monthly close, okay? Let's go back onto the monthly now. Let's get this into equilibrium. And we were looking at this month over here, the month of March, and we said that, hey, let's go ahead and mark out those horizontals yet again. Okay, we said, hey, if Bitcoin closes above this line over here and this one right over there, okay, this zone, let me adjust that slightly. Okay, so what did we talk about? We said that, hey, if Bitcoin closes this month above the zone over here, then we get a big clue as to what Bitcoin may want to do over the next coming few weeks, perhaps 4 to 6 weeks, right? Because this was going to be a nice close, considering we have a bull wick underneath as well. And we got that close, but we weren't convinced just yet. We needed more information as the days progress, as the weeks progress, right? That's exactly what we talked about yesterday. And last night, after the video, towards the end of the daily close, we got the next clue that we were waiting for. Because where did Bitcoin bounce, guys? Let's switch on over to the daily now. Let's remove all the horizontals for a second, remove all drawings, and we'll see that Bitcoin, actually, let's bring it back. Actually, we need them. We'll see that Bitcoin, even though we were living underneath that monthly zone between 6,288 and 6,400, for the entirety of the day, actually, we were living underneath it. What happened towards the end of the day? The daily defended that monthly zone, and that is very, very insightful to me. It is telling us something, okay? Giving us a little bit more information, perhaps beginning to change the tide a little bit. Is this one of the clues that we're looking for a change of behavior in Bitcoin for the days and the weeks to come, okay? Let's put this at the back of our minds again. So we have that monthly close. That was a good bull sign, okay? Not enough yet, but good enough. Now we have this daily defending that monthly zone. Okay, that is good. It doesn't mean we won't lose it. It doesn't mean we can't lose it. But we saw the first day of the month defend that zone. And that is insightful to me. Okay, cool. But what happened right after? And this is why it's really important to not get tunnel vision and look at the picture holistically, okay? And this is what we teach at the Mango Seed program. Have your risk management in place first and foremost, and get a holistic idea of the story that the chart is telling you, right? We're looking at the psychology of the market participants, the behavior, and that's how we start deciphering a story and the clues that the market starts giving you overall to add the probability to your trades. Okay, so we have this monthly zone over here. Let's go ahead and mark out another zone quickly, okay? We're going to use these daily candles over here where we consolidated against that major resistance, okay? Mark out these candle closes over there, and as well as the candle opens, mark them both out, right? What did Bitcoin do? closed well by defending the zone, but we closed right up against resistance on the opening. Right after the candle close, after the daily candle close, we wicked up, we tried for push up, but what do? We got resisted against by the top of the zone right over there. So while this is a good sign, okay, Bitcoin has yet to close candles above the zone over here. If we start closing candles on a daily above the zone over here, then we can say, hey, we have a swing high, and we can look for a higher low somewhere, and we'll be like, okay, you know what, this is becoming convincing enough. We can look for a trend change on perhaps the weekly as well. But for now, we don't have that, right? We don't have that. And one could argue that, hey, this might be putting in a local high over here, and that would be a swing lower high, guys. So be a little bit careful. People tend to fall into the same bad mistakes where they end up longing against major resistance and they short against major support. And honestly, if you're not comfortable playing a trend trade, guys, all you have to do is play the ranges over here, and the ranges in this region have been very obvious. We actually have a new level to play off as well now. And if you're on the C program, please go ahead and watch the support and resistance module again, because just using that module, you would have made so much money in this area over here, because like I said, the ranges have been very obvious, and the volatility and the bounces have been extremely strong, extremely profitable. In fact, it's making me think, hey, maybe I should have been playing the ranges, but hey, trend trading is more my style. Okay, so now I want to go back on over to the chart that we've been using over the past couple of days, where we have our zones drawn out. I'm going to turn on my horizontals again, and you can see that, hey, we have our major yellow boxes right overhead as major resistance, right? We haven't cracked that just yet, but currently we're squeezed between resistance overhead and support underneath. This daily candle close was pretty strong. We also, however, came up against the breakdown point right over here. Okay, I had this thin line that you guys probably can't see right over here, this gray line around 6,672 marked out from a couple of days ago. That was a breakdown point of this candle, and it seems like Bitcoin came smacked against it and has been struggling to get past it. So we're really squeezed up over there. There isn't really much room for Bitcoin to move without a volatile move toward either side. If we break actually through this yellow box over here, guys, it's going to cause for some volatility. Like, I think we could get all the way up to the 8,000 region, and it does line up with this possible broadening wedge that Bitcoin might be putting in. Now, people might say that, hey, the broadening wedge is a bearish pattern, blah blah, but hey, even if it's bearish, it doesn't matter, man. That's a 21% move to the upside. Like, you can get stuck in that bear mentality or bull mentality all you want. A 20% move towards either direction is a 20% move. Doesn't matter if the pattern is deemed bearish, right? And hey, if I get an opportunity to trade for that, if the charts give me the opportunity, I will be taking that move if the opportunity presents itself and if the trade setup is actually there. What I'm not going to do is chase the trade and end up actually longing into support. And I'm so sure a lot of people are going to do it again. They're going to end up longing right over here, which is major resistance. On that note, I do want to move on over to the 3-day time frame right now. We've been talking about this for a couple of days now. We've been eyeing this 10 SMA, this red line over here, that has been proving as good resistance over the past few candles. However, currently we are living above it. All right, we are closing this 3-day in 16 hours, around 17 hours actually. If we actually close this 3-day candle above the 10 SMA, that's going to be another sign for us. Is it definitive? No, not yet. I'll be looking for 2-3 days on that, but that would be a good start for the bulls. And hey, then we'll be looking towards a weekly as well, because 2-3 days is 6 days, and 6 days is almost a week, right? This will be very interesting though, because again, 16 hours, 17 hours left, and I believe the 10 SMA is sitting around 6,500. Yep, 6,506, right? We can go on over to the lower time frame and see how Bitcoin is faring. Is it showing some strength? Might be going to equilibrium and trying for the upside right over here. Perhaps another test of 6,700, 6,750-ish. Perhaps. But it'll be interesting to see how the 3-day actually closes. But like I said, To be definitive, I'll be looking for at least 2 3-day candles, which takes us towards the weekly. And this is where it gets really interesting, right? This weekly is being extremely resilient. Let's look at the past 2 weeks. Look at these candles. These are bear wicks, guys, bear wicks. But we said, hey, D'Artagnan defended his green saber right over here, right? His sword is still green, even though it has a bearish wick. And what do you know? Right after that, the week progressing, shooting towards the upside of this resistance yet again. Very impressive, very resilient. Not seeing that continuation down towards the support regions of the weekly, which is somewhere around 5,400 and 5,300, right? Bitcoin not getting there. In fact, seeing a push towards the upside. This is again another sign. The tides are beginning to turn, right? We've had to be a little bit patient. We're seeing things unfold. But again, guys, do not get too bullish just yet. We want to see something a little bit more definitive. If you go on over to the daily, this kind of behavior is begging for a quick move towards the downside, just to shake out a lot of people that are getting bullish too early because things are looking good, right? But more often than not, you're better off just waiting for the resistance to completely get crushed, or waiting for another swipe towards the downside, and then you start seeing that rounding of the formation. The rounding of the formation, very similar that we saw on the weekly when we came down to the 3K region, right over here. We saw people getting bullish right over here too on the weekly, bullish, and then again we had another swipe down, and then we saw the rounding. That's when it is safe to be like, okay, you know what, I can start looking for those long opportunities. And what do you know, the Vine gave us the long right over here, somewhere around 3,800, 3,900, and boom, right? So far, guys, the Vine has been giving us short opportunities and good moves too, right? First, a good 20% move to the downside, then another move around to over here, 16%, and even the most recent move was a good $600 to $800 move, right? But what are we seeing now? We are seeing what could potentially be the psychology of a ascending triangle. We have a flattish top while they're putting in higher lows at the bottom, right? And it's getting pretty tight, actually. It's getting pretty tight. And this is, again, I've talked about this, when we reach towards the cusp of a formation like this, if this is a formation, we tend to see some effery. So I'm not completely convinced on this, guys, but let's keep an eye on it, because as we get closer and closer towards perhaps the 4th of April, we might see a volatile move towards both sides, okay? Volatile move towards both sides. Let's keep a note of that. If we do get it, we'll be like, okay, you know what? We had our read correct. And you know how I play it. I don't play it when we reach that kind of move over there. If I was looking at this as a formation, I'm not completely convinced just yet, because we do have a horizontal right over here too. It's as good as a horizontal, guys. Did come pretty close. So looking more of a range to me. And if you have been playing the ranges, lots of profits to be made over there. Okay, let's do a quick recap now. We're looking at Bitcoin on the daily, and we have our lines marked out right over here now, squeeze between the 6,677 region and the 6,300, 6,400 region. What we want to see is Bitcoin actually gets supported over here at 6,335. If we see Bitcoin simply crush through this level, it's not going to be a good look, and I'm not entirely sure that we defend this low over here of 6,144. If you go on over to the 4-hour time frame quickly, we can see that Bitcoin's getting awfully close to testing this low over here at 6,575, and if we actually take out that low, I'll be looking for Bitcoin to come and at least test 6,472, right? And that's a major region when we're looking at this daily region over here, and as well as a monthly zone, getting awfully close if you look at the higher time frames. So that's what we're looking at. But I have to say, I'm liking what Bitcoin is doing over here, okay? I'm liking what Bitcoin is doing over here. It's not enough to convince me to take longs, definitely not over here, but at least in the coming weeks, I'm going to be like, okay, you know what? I'm getting more and more comfortable. I'm liking this price action, but not just yet, guys, not just yet. If Bitcoin starts closing candles underneath 5,800, we're back to square one in terms of this being bearish. And hey, we have to also take into consideration the entire macro environment of what is going on, and that is not inspiring much confidence. But hey, don't get me wrong, what's happening right now in the world is long term very bullish for Bitcoin. But there is going to be a delay before those dynamics come into play. But that's just my opinion. None of this is financial advice. Don't take me seriously. I don't know what I'm talking about. My name is Sean Dexter. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know in the comments down below and throw it a like. It goes way further than you guys think. So yeah, please go ahead and do that. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.